Manish, what are you making of the auto space? Does it seem like all the bad news is priced in, and the auto space still has further headroom to go?
I think when oil is at 120 on the Brent, surely auto stocks have something to worry about, and more so on the medium and heavy commercial vehicles or passenger cars, not so much on two-wheelers. So I think till now volumes have been pretty strong. So even in the Jan to March quarter, you'll be seeing something like a 24-25% sort of a volume growth. I think margins will come off. And if things stay the way they are, then surely margins would face even some more headwinds going into the future. So profitability might get impacted based on raw material cost. Even in the fourth quarter, there will be dent in margins. So I think it is a function of oil prices and interest rates, which will determine how the volume numbers stack up going into the next 2-3 quarters. Valuations are not too much of a problem, but valuations or prices to earning multiples may not just expand when oil is at such elevated levels. So I think it will be more of a neutral sector for the time being, unless and until something on the downside comes through in oil. But valuations are perfectly okay, and maybe you're seeing some value buying in the entire auto space, but I think near-term triggers are missing.
So what would be your top pick then?
I think in our portfolios we own Bajaj Auto as a top pick. Hero Honda is also there. So these would be the top picks.
Manish Sonthalia, post-budget, identify one stock for us which you have added and one stock for us which you have subtracted from your portfolios.
I think some of the stocks that we have added is slightly into consumer-oriented names, which have seen some correction. So these were some of the stocks. Financials is something which we have added, and some of the stocks which we have excluded is slightly commodity-heavy industries or high beta names are some of the stocks that we have excluded. So we have tried to keep the beta low to the extent possible post-budget.
Manish, what about the cement space? Because the stocks have gotten a little active in the markets. The dispatches do suggest moderate demand growth as well, almost 7% year. Time to buy cement now, or are these just trading moves which we are seeing?
No, I don't think so. The biggest positive which is happening in the cement space is price discipline and quantity discipline maintained by the cement manufacturers. So even though capacity utilization is ruling at around 80%, volumes are not something which are filling the entire market. So if there is no break in the cartelization, then I think cement as a space would continue to do well. Going forward, even though on a quarter-on-quarter basis you will see some significant 6-7% increase in EBITDA margins, and even EBITDA per ton would be closer to around $1,100-$1,200, particularly for cement companies in North India. And when asset prices or cement EV per ton, you are getting anywhere between 50 and let's say 120, 130. You have a whole basket to choose from. And my sense is that second half of fiscal 2012 is when supply and demand will tend to even out. And if prices of stocks don't fall in the interim, then you could have a significant rally in cement moving into the first quarter of 2013. So I don't think it's a space to sell even now.
Manish Sonthalia, do you like any of these retail dominated businesses? If yes, which one?
Yeah, I think the entire space is quite attractive from a long-term point of view, and when there's expectation of policy reforms coming, then FDI in retail would be one such policy that the markets are looking forward to. I think we are positive on one Titan, second shopper stock, I think both in the large cap and the mid cap space. I think these stocks over a period of time will deliver superior growth, even though valuations are not very comfortable. But I think if they are able to maintain the growth rates or even slightly lower growth rates, then these may be worth picking up on declines.
Manish, the NHAI seems to be fairly active, and most people on the street are getting bullish on a couple of these infrastructure names. In particular, it's the road projects which are expected to pick up. Any of the infra names that you would be most bullish on?
I mean, they are beaten out of shape and virtually nothing to lose from these levels, and the number of kilometers that are being targeted for the current fiscal is way above what we have seen in the last year. So, if anything, there could be upsides. Interest costs have hurt them. Execution was weak due to policy paralysis. All these things are changing. I think the best known names within the road space could be your Nagarjuna Construction or an IVRCL. These could be on the top of the mind for anybody trying to bet on the road space. I think these are good enough names.
Manish Sonthalia, do you like ITC at these levels? Is ITC a good long-term bet?
Yeah, we own ITC in one of our portfolios, so I think we like the stock very much, and it's not for any near-term trading or anything, but I think 18 to 20% sort of a growth is a secular growth for this company going forward, and valuations will just keep falling in line as profit comes through. FMCG losses are going down, and that is an added advantage for the stock. Paper business is now starting to look up. So I think these are some of the positives for the company. It will trade at anywhere between 25 and 30 times current year earnings. So we continue to like the stock, we hold the stock.
Manish, what themes are you now bullish on when it comes to the mid-cap space?
I mean, mid-cap space is more of a bottom-top rather than sectoral or particular sectors. There are opportunities across the sectors, but as a space, I think the mid-cap space has more valuation comfort. Even though headline numbers or headline indices may not do too much, may not, but I think there is a whole lot of value which is there in the mid-cap space, whether it is financials or consumer, you name it, you can find your picks there.
Manish, is Ashok Leyland something you would look at?
Not really. I'm more comfortable with Tata Motors rather than Ashok Leyland.
Manish, you're bullish on India, but you're not bullish on Ashok Leyland. Ashok Leyland represents, the CV market.
I think more comfortable with Tata Motors, which is also there in the MHCV and the largest player. So, better to go with the largest.
But Tata Motors has a global business, which is. Manish Sonthalia, you're bullish on India, like you said, and you're bullish on Tata Motors, and the biggest moving piece for Tata Motors is JLR, which is a global business.
Yeah, it's doing well. It's doing quite well, and it's not captured in the valuation. So, on the one hand, you have an India growth story. On the other hand, you have a global growth story. So, both of them combined to give you a deadly combination, isn't it?